Hello everyone, Connie Pertula, the Menopause Navigator, back for another segment. Wow, it's already Thursday, hard to believe. The week has gone by quickly. I guess, well, time is time, right? Yeah, some days seem to go by so quickly. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about time. I'm here today to talk about alcohol. And not the kind that you use to disinfect, rubbing alcohol, that kind of stuff. I'm here to talk about alcohol, libations, cocktails, all those kinds of things. So alcohol, yeah, I used to partake on a regular basis. Actually, something that really changed my relationship with alcohol was my bodybuilding competition. And it was something that, I was sat down by my nutrition coach and talked about, okay, you need to get in so many calories. Do you want them to be empty calories or do you want them to be food? And I made the decision that I would give up alcohol. So gave up alcohol completely for 8 months while I was doing my bodybuilding competition. But prior to that, yeah, I used to engage in having alcohol, mostly socially. I never drank it on my own, home alone. If I was in a relationship, yeah, sometimes a bottle of wine or so while having dinner. But in the corporate life, all the corporate travel, corporate functions, definitely had quite a bit of alcohol at times. The stories. But I did. I gave it up for my bodybuilding competition, and I was so focused on my competition that you just don't really notice certain things that are going on. And the night after the competition was all done, and we went for dinner to celebrate me winning third place, and just working so hard. You had nice big meal. I think it was like steak and baked potato and salad. Had dessert because I hadn't had any sweets in 8 months as well, and had a glass of wine, and I couldn't even finish the whole glass of wine. It was a beautiful glass of red wine, but it didn't appeal to me. I'd lost my whole, I don't know, it just didn't provide anything to me. So after that, I just thought, what's the sense of drinking? I mean, yeah, it's nice to have, but do I really need to do it? So that was 2013, hard to believe, 10 years, but over the last 10 years, I've barely had anything to drink. Hey, Petra, hi, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So over the last 10 years, I barely drank, other than I was in a relationship and we would imbibe quite often on the weekends. And, there came a point actually that I was just realizing, or I guess I started to think, how good is this for me? Is it really what I should be doing? There's heart disease on both sides of my family. And as a woman going into menopause, women in menopause are more susceptible to higher levels of cholesterol. They're also susceptible to insulin issues, diabetes, insulin resistance, blood sugar issues, all those types of things. So I thought, is this really the right thing for me to do? So after my relationship ended, well, he would tell you that I dumped him. But anyway, after that relationship ended, I just decided, I'm not going to drink anymore. It's just not worth it to me. Now, here's the thing. One, when you go into menopause, alcohol absolutely will give you hot flashes. It will, and you don't even notice it, because if you're having a glass of wine here and there and you're having other things, you're not exactly sure what may have caused the hot flash. And you might just think, it's menopause, I'm having a hot flash. But if you really stop to think and take a look, I bet you're having a hot flash not long after having that glass of wine, or cocktail, whatever. So if you want to slow down on the hot flashes, slow down on the alcohol, absolutely. Now, I had a client recently tell me, because she hasn't been feeling great, and I asked her, how often are you drinking? And she said, well, maybe a couple of times a week. Here's the thing about when you're doing something a couple of times a week. It can take our body 2 or 3 days to actually react to what we're having. So, for example, if you're having a glass of wine, you might not really notice what it's doing to you. Couple days later, 2-3 days later, you have another glass of wine. So you're thinking, well, this is totally acceptable. I'm not drinking that often. But here's the thing. You haven't given your body enough time to actually show you how good it can feel without it, because of that 2 to 3 day lag. And here's the thing that I found. When I quit completely, and then I would have the odd glass of wine or cocktail, next morning, low energy, low mood, digestive system a little bit different. So I was not drinking often enough that I could see how the alcohol was affecting me. And do I absolutely never drink? No. A friend of mine was here, I think it was in June, and yeah, we opened a bottle of wine and we enjoyed some wine. But that's actually the last time I've had a drink of alcohol, was when she came to visit. I've been out to functions with other, with people and stuff like that, networking, and it's just not something that I really choose to do, because I know that the next day my energy is going to feel low, my mood is going to be affected, and it is absolutely a depressant. It will affect your mood. But like I say, if you're doing it one day here, few days later, it's keeping you in that sort of that space, that low space, or that low energy level. That's where it's keeping you, and you're not even realizing. If you stop for a week, I bet you would see that you feel better, your mood is better. And I see this in people who drink on the weekends, don't drink during the week. And I have seen this. I've seen this in clients where, they only drink on the weekends. And if I meet up with them just prior to the weekend, they're completely different than if I meet up with them on a Monday. Very different mood. Their skin looks different, everything. So that's one of the really big things to consider. Alcohol contains sugar, and especially if we're having cocktails, a lot of times people are putting tonic water in there. Sometimes people have rum and Coke, and in most cases, you're not going to have it with some type of an unsweetened soda, because that just throws the whole taste off. Now, here's the thing. If you're a person who occasionally likes to have a drink, how do you do this? How do you do this on a more healthy level? And here's a nutritionist, right, talking about how to drink healthy. But there are better ways to do it if you absolutely want to participate. But here's the other thing, peer pressure. If you're giving into peer pressure, if you think you need to drink just to make the others around you feel comfortable, you're letting people cross your boundaries. If your boundary is, I don't want to drink, and that's my boundary, I don't want to drink, and people's like, I just have one. Come on. No, I don't want to drink. I can have a great time here with all of you. I don't need to have alcohol to have a great time. I'm just as fun without alcohol as I am with alcohol. So that's, that's my, that's just how I am. I've come to a point in my life where I will not let people cross my boundaries just to be part of a group. So back to alcohol and how you drink a healthier way. The healthiest alcohols are gin, vodka, and tequila. And the best way to drink them is on the rocks with a good squeeze of lemon or lime. on the rocks because you're not adding in any additional sugars. You could use a soda water, but again, some people don't like the flavor that a soda water adds to it. But good squeeze of lemon or lime. Why the citrus? Because the citrus helps to support your liver so that your liver isn't struggling to break down that alcohol. So the citrus is protecting the liver and supporting it while it's going to break down the alcohol. So that's the best way to drink. The other thing is in between each drink, have a glass of water. That again is supporting your body and your liver. Alcohol dehydrates you, and the additional sugars. So the water is going to help to dilute all of that in your system. It's going to leave you less dehydrated when you go to bed at night. Make sure you're eating as well. It's very important. Now, when it comes to wine, red wine is probably the better option. But there are certain things in the red wine, like tannins and stuff like that, that affect people. So a lot of people will turn to the white wine. White wine's, of course, more popular in summer, maybe less popular in winter, but some people drink it all year round because that's their preference. But white wine is going to be higher in sugars as well, too. So that's where you could, dilute it a bit with a soda. Now, there are alcohols out there. Something that I haven't tried is, sorry that blipped there for a second, but Tanqueray has come out with a 0 alcohol. I've tried some of the others that sort of mimic gins, and they're okay. They don't taste as great. Of course, if you have it with the tonic water, then it's giving that flavor and everything. But they still don't taste the same. When I go out, I drink water. As simple as that. Sometimes the odd time I'll treat myself to a mocktail, but I find that a lot of mocktails are really high in sugar because they're making them with syrups and stuff. So not always the best option. And I could go into all of the other health issues that drinking can cause. There are studies saying that drinking is related to breast cancer in women. If you drink a lot, it can relate to heart disease, high blood pressure, all those types of things. And as I mentioned as well, type 2 diabetes. And when we go into menopause, our bodies are working differently, and we want to do things to support them as opposed to antagonizing them. So, I'm not poo-pooing it completely, but I'm just saying, just really think about it. Is it something that you really feel that you need? Or is it something that you could actually do without? As always, if you've got comments, please put them down in the comment section. I love to hear them. If you totally disagree with me, I'd love to hear that. Or you can message me directly if you have a topic that you'd like me to talk about, anything about women and menopause. I'm definitely open to that. I'd love to hear your suggestions as to what you'd like to learn about. So please either comment or send me a message, and I would love to cover the topic you might want to know more information on. Have a wonderful Thursday wherever you are, and as always, be kind to yourself because it can be a challenging world out there. And if anything, if we're kind to ourselves, that's the most important thing. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.